you've ever doubled your staff just to immediately cut back down a few months later and fire half of them, go and hit that like and subscribe button. Guys, welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average AAC ammunition controversy enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Guys, the purpose of today's video is we're going to be discussing AAC ammo and / PSA, because PSA basically owns AAC, America's ammunition company, and we're going to be discussing them deciding to fire half of their employees and move in a new direction. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on not only AAC ammo as a whole, but probably why this happened from my speculation and my opinion, from what I've seen in the market and what I've seen with modern or global events, right? Recent events worldwide, okay? If for some reason you're sitting at home right now, you're sitting on the toilet, you're enjoying my content at work, time thefting from your boss, you are enjoying a beer, you're enjoying your morning coffee, whatever you got going on, all I ask you to do is hit the like button. It helps out more than you guys know. It helps keep the channel alive. Lately, I've been working a ton. For those that don't know, I'm active duty senior NCO and a drill sergeant leader, so that means I spend the majority of my life at work, so I don't have a lot of free time. This job is a part-time job, so every time you hit the like button and comment down below your thoughts on AAC ammo and if it's good or bad, then it helps out the channel more than you know. If for some reason you want to further support the channel financially and monetarily, well, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can join the Patreon. It gets you access to our Discord server. There'll be a link down below for that. And there'll be other links if you want to help with the ammunition fund that actually I have to buy more AAC ammunition, 7,000 more, to replace the 7,000 rounds I still have to shoot on the PSA Dagger Torture Test series. So if you want to help monetarily, there'll be links down below for that. Okay, so first and foremost, AAC Ammunition American Ammunition Company, okay, or America's Ammunition Company. They are basically owned by PSA, and their big claim to fame was that they were going to make 760 by 39 and 545 here locally in the United States. They were going to make it brass cased and cheap, right? They were going to make it cheaper. That way you could buy those cartridges here. But what they have been making recently is just pretty much every major caliber, right? 9mm and 5.56 being the main ones that people actually care about, right? So, you know, just putting it generally, okay, for what I've seen, the biggest sellers are for them. Now, for me, my personal experience with AAC and with PSA, first of all, not sponsored by them, obviously. Not a good relationship with them, but I have used their product extensively. As you guys have seen very recently on the channel, pretty much exclusively 124 grain AAC ammunition, and I've been testing it for this PSA Dagger test. So I've shot easily over 10,000 rounds, probably over 20,000 rounds worth of AAC ammunition. Both, like I said, primarily 5.56 and 124 grain 9mm, okay? So I can only really speak to the 9mm, the 9mm, 124 grain, and the 5.56. And for me, it has been mostly reliable. Now, so that is just, you know, the precursor or the thoughts on the AAC as a company moving into this, okay? Now, the decision that they made to bring on new staff, I'm guessing that decision was made during the Biden administration when people were panic buying, when their sales were extremely high. I'm guessing, if I had to take an educated guess, is that once President Trump took over and was projected to take over, a lot of Americans stopped panic buying ammunition. Thus, the market dried up, or, you know, wasn't as crazy, right? It almost is more saturated, because now you have more ammunition, or more companies making bulk ammunition, but less people going out and buying 20,000 rounds in a panic buy frenzy, right? So I think dudes are purchasing a lot less ammo a lot less frequently due to political climate changes. People don't think the world is going to end tomorrow because President Trump has you know, taken over and was projected to win the election. So for about 6 months now, people have not really been purchasing large quantities of ammunition, thus hurting PSA's bottom line, thus causing them to have to lay off people or fire 50% of their staff for AAC. Now, the ammunition market is a completely, it's not a good way to make money, okay? And here's why. The people that have been in the business for a long time are the ones that are going to make the most money. Companies like MagTech or CCI Blazer, right? Or whoever their parent company is. CCI Blazer is pretty much the gold standard for guys that compete or shoot and need to buy a ton of ammunition. It's brass case, the primers are pretty good, and it's, the 124 grain works good, right? So companies like MagTech or CCI Blazer, those products are going to be kind of like the cornerstone of the market. And then you have to factor in, you have companies from Turkey now producing bulk ammo. So when AAC first stood up, the reason they could make massive amounts of money quickly was because of the panic buying. And guys were worried about, the end of the world, and if a Democrat stays in power, what's going to happen? And they're worried about the Russia thing, and they're worried about the southern border, and they're worried about Venezuelan gangs taking over, etc. Right? All these different issues, and the inflation in the United States, and is the U.S. dollar going to be worth anything? These are all the thoughts going through people's brains as they're making the decision to panic buy, 10,000, 20,000 rounds of 9mm and 5.56. So now that all those things have kind of calmed down a little bit with President Trump taking over, and people have a little bit more level-headedness, the companies that are new, like AAC, they are not as trusted by the community. If a dude walks into a store, whether it be online or in person, and a dude that's in the know sees a ton of, 22 cent or 24 cent per round 9mm from, Blazer brass or whatever, we'll just use CCI Blazer as an example for today's video. So if you walk into the store and you see pallets upon pallets of CCI Blazer 124 grain 9mm, and you look over and you see pallets upon pallets of AAC ammo 124 grain 9mm, the dude that's in the know is always going to buy the Blazer. The Blazer has better primers, better projectiles, better casing assembly, right, with the bullet actually being placed into the actual brass case itself, and more consistent powder, but powder really doesn't matter as much as the other components I just listed. It's mainly the primer is mainly what you're worried about, and the quality control, okay? So people that are in the know that have been shooting this stuff for a long time, they're never going to buy the AAC ammo. They're always going to gravitate towards the other more tried and true tested product first. And the second consideration will be, oh, well, if I can save 1 cent per round, I'm going to go with this, SMB, cellular and below, Serbian, or not Serbian, whatever freaking European-made ammunition, SMB, or I'm going to go with this Turkish-made ammo because it's even cheaper and I know it's going to be trash, but I can get more of it, So that's where AAC ammo kind of lies on the spectrum of ammunition purchases for a lot of guys. It's reasonably priced, yes, but there's better quality for the same price. Use the CCI Blazer example. Now, if you look at the overall market for ammo, and now you consider PSA's position where they get in the market at a good time, they have all this hype with AAC spinning out production of 760 by 39 and 545, and they're going to make 9mm and 5.56 locally, and they make other calibers too, but those are the big ones that they're going to make the most money on, right? So they spin up production of these things, and then things calm down. Well, yeah, they might hire X amount of people. Let's say, for example, this is not the real number, but let's say, yeah, they hired 50 new people, but they're not making any money. Yeah, they're going to have to let those people go. They have to lay them off, right? They can't sustain that business model if they're not selling massive amounts and keeping the projection. The only reason you bring in new people is because you think you need to expand your business, right? To sell more product. So in AAC's particular case, they made their financial advisors probably told, they probably advised that, yeah, okay, if Biden wins, or not Biden, but if Kamala Harris wins, or if things, the fear mongering continues and the market stays, in a complete, in a crazy state where dudes are buying thousands and thousands of rounds out of fear and panic and preparation, with that prepper mentality, then yeah, your projections would be correct, and you should bring in new people, and you should expand further tooling, and you should continue making as many bullets as possible. But here's where the issue came about as well: quality control. So I have been lucky. I have shot, like I said, well over 10,000, probably at least 20,000 rounds of 9mm and 5.56 from AAC ammo. I have had a handful, right, in that time of bad primers where I fire the rifle or the handgun, it's a click, not a bang, okay? So the gun does not go off, the hammer does fall, the striker does strike the firing pin, and we try to fire it again and it does fire, right? So it's not the weapon, it's a hard primer. So here's the deal. A little birdie has told me that they use very, very cheap primers that are hard primers, some of the worst in the business, to save money and to stay competitive. So guys that are in the know, when they're going out to buy, competition ammo or duty ammo, and yes, a lot of dudes do run Full Metal Jacket, because of the consistency of, because of the increased reliability due to the feed ramp with that type of projectile with the Full Metal Jacket. And yes, a lot of dudes do concealed carry Full Metal Jacket, myself included sometimes, right? Just whenever I'm doing testing and switching stuff out, but whenever I'm not carrying my actual ammunition, right, Hydroshock and stuff like that. But the dudes that are in the know are going to understand that the quality control of AAC is a little bit lower than the competition. So they're not going to gravitate towards that if they need it to defend their life or for a match. They're not going to rely on AAC for a match, or else you'll get what happened to me. I'm probably not going to remember to include it in the B-roll of this video, but I essentially went to a USPSA match and had a click no bang on a qualifier. The stage, should have been start and finish within 3 to 4 seconds to be competitive. My time was like 7 seconds because I had a malfunction that was not user induced. It was ammunition caused. It was a click, no bang, and a hard primer strike. I had to tap and rack. That thus pretty much didn't DQ me, but it took me out of the running, right, because of that malfunction. And I have that on footage, and it's been on the channel multiple times from that match. You can also go look at the footage yourself after watching this video. So, I guess in summary, guys, my thoughts on AAC ammo firing 50% of their staff is, yeah, they took a bad gamble. They thought that the fear would continue and people would continue buying ammunition at an astronomical rate. They lost that battle, in my opinion. This is just speculation. They lost that battle, that bet, and guess what? Now they're back to where guys that are in the know are not going to go out and buy AAC unless they're a YouTuber like me, fake YouTuber, really, C-list YouTuber, and they're trying to test a product test a gun like I am with the dagger, and try to test the dagger with their own ammunition. So for me, I have to buy AAC. So I'm just in that awkward, predicament where I have to buy AAC. But for you guys, you don't. So you can buy whatever you want. If you choose to buy AAC, just know they have a little bit worse quality control than some of the competition. But out of the tens of thousands and thousands of rounds I've fired, I've only had a few issues, but that is just my experience and one anecdote. Companies hire people all the time, and they fire people all the time based on different reasons. But just understand, as an image, whenever your consumer or the gun community as a whole in general, if you bring on 50 people and then you fire them, it's not good. It's not good for business, especially if the employee is not at fault in any way. Like that, those are X amount of people that you brought in, and then you dumped back, you threw back out on the street, unemployed, right? So just think about that. Moving forward as a community, if a company brings in new people and fires them, yes, it's going to happen, but it's all about their marketing projection and the company deciding, okay, are we going to make money on this or are we not? And people make bad decisions or poorly informed decisions all the time. It's not just a PSA or AAC issue. It's just market projections in general, right? Anyway, that's a lot of talk about ammunition. Here soon, I'm going to be firing 1,000 rounds more through my Tatiana, the PSA dagger. That'll put us over the 3,000 round mark. I'll have a video up shortly on that video shooting AAC ammo because I have to, because that's the parameters of the test, not because I want to. If you want to help support this channel in any way, hit the like button. Helps out more than you guys know. Thank you. Every time you hit the like button, it's like giving me a hug and a kiss. Comment down below your thoughts on the AAC ammunition conspiracy theory. It's not really a conspiracy because it's been confirmed by PSA, and what your thoughts are on AAC ammo. If you want to help support the channel monetarily, it helps out a ton, especially having to buy $250 cases of 9mm to literally burn on camera for no training value for me, just so you guys can watch and see when the dagger fails, right? The dagger series is expensive, and if you guys want to continue seeing content, if you want to donate, there's links down below. You can hit either link and you can donate whatever amount of money to that ammunition fund directly, and that money will be used directly on camera to burn ammunition for you guys, for your viewing pleasure, to test the dagger and future guns. And after we finish the 10,000 round test on the dagger, then we'll figure out what gun will be next. But right now we're at the 2,000 round mark, and this next 2 days will put us at the 3,000 round mark, and then next week probably the 4,000 round mark, right? That's kind of the projection, about 1,000 rounds per week on camera, burn down style. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week. And until next time, it's going to be Trench Grenade, your average PSA, AAC, ammunition, speculation enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home, signing out. Cheers.
Wolverines!